Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Echo Gaming with us, and we're going to be talking about the new class. Now, in the latest update, they said there's a monstrous new class, and they said in here this class bleeds new blood, so it is kind of a little bit of a tease for Blood Knight. However, as you know, Echo, because talking about the data mine earlier, it was showing as Shadow Knight in the data mine. So the question I have for you is, do you think it is Blood Knight or Shadow Knight that is coming?
I think that it's Shadow Knight. I think that the Blood Knight is the Shadow Knight. I think they just swapped the name, maybe to be a little bit less gory, to keep China a little bit happier with the whole use of the term blood. But they used blood in that discussion, in that little blog post there twice. So when I read that, I instantly thought, as did everyone, this is the Blood Knight, right?
It could
and
be.
Then when Yeah.
It could be just a fun little tease and still come out as the Shadow Knight, but I think you're onto it. I think Shadow Knight's for China, right? Because they can't have the blood. It's against the regulations over there to have the blood in it. And then we might actually get the Blood Knight, which would be a W.
I'll tell you though, I think that the class is exactly the same. I don't think it's going to be any different. If we trust our data miner, which I know that I do, almost everything that he says we see, he hasn't mentioned anything about another class being built that's like Shadow Knight-esque. And they mentioned blood twice in the blog post. When you look at the image, the term Shadow Knight actually fits it better from when we were looking at that blog. That looks like a Shadow Knight.
That's true. I mean, that's a good point. It does fit it. Look at it. Kitty's even agreeing with you. She's purry now all of a sudden.
Kitties like me, yeah.
You know the one similarity they have from the original. This is the Wowhead data mine from forever ago. Red eyes, but now he's got hair.
He does. Well, maybe the hair just wasn't made yet. Maybe that's like the render, and then you could put all the different hairs in. Maybe they're going after you, man. They want to have that nice, long, gorgeous locks.
That's what I was saying. Maybe they added me into the game. Maybe I'm the Shadow Knight. I wouldn't mind one of those. There you go.
Not at all.
So this is the old data mine abilities. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through these here and see if you think this would fit a Shadow Knight theme or how they might fit into the Shadow Knight if they do go that way. So we have dash stab. When the target moves away from you, you will dash. When the target's in front of you, you will launch a barrage. Now, they are supposed to be making this class a mid-range class, right? Didn't they say that in here? Yep, a mid-range class using a classic weapon style. What do you think they mean by classic?
I was thinking axes, but then as I was going through the comment, which is more barbarian-like, which is probably wrong, there's something in here. Shadow Spear, if you scroll down a little more, is one of the things. So I believe he's going to have some type of a spear type weapon. Would make sense.
Oh,
right?
Look at this. Toss a Shadow Spear ahead, dealing damage to all enemies in the path. Long press the skill to charge, increasing flight distance, range, and damage. So that... Yep, that might fit the concept of a Shadow Knight. But then we also have things in here like Blood Suck continues to drain the life of surrounding enemies, continuously dealing damage and adding a drain effect. These abilities are actually quite cool. Have you had a chance to read all of these yet? Look at this one. Pierce an enemy in a front with a pike and deal damage to it, then throw it onto the ground, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and stunning them. Oh, good. More CC. That's what we need in the game.
I'll tell you, man, this is data mine skills from months ago, and we're seeing remnants of both Shadow and Blood Knit, which is more proof that this is all the same class. Like a Shadow Spear, Blood Suck, it's all the same class. They're just gonna I bet you they change Blood Suck into Shadow Suck or something like that. Take out everything blood related, and it's just gonna be the Shadow Knight, which it doesn't matter. Who cares what the name is? The class, which I bet 75% of everyone inside of Diablo Immortal is going to swap to when this happens, is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see how that works.
But God, the Clone Wars have, dude, everyone is going to be running around looking exactly the same.
Yeah, they better have a good skin that month. They better be good.
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. Some of these abilities seem kind of fun, though. Look at this one. Okay, your body releases a black fog, affecting nearby opponents. Monsters in the black fog are charmed to attack other monsters. And
Necro-esque right there.
So you charm them. Opponents in the black fog cannot use Smart Cast. I don't know what Smart Cast is, but maybe your abilities, you can't use them or something. Man, so this is... These are some of the textures that we have for here. This is what the guy looks like. There you go. I think this one looks a little bit cooler, a little bit more Dracula-like.
I was going to say, it definitely has a Dracula feel. I mean, there's no Dracula style characters in the history of Diablo, right? Like something that would remind you of a Dracula. Is there?
Well, that's a good question, but I thought the Storm Point last main quest we had, what was it? The Z guy, Zakram, what was his name? I thought that guy was some kind of like, someone said he was a vampire or something like that in one of my comments. So for some reason that's coming to mind. That's probably Cap though. I will say this guy definitely looks the most Dracula like. No doubt. So the real question is, after reading these skill sets here, we were looking through this, do you think that it's intelligence or strength? Because that is going to determine, I mean, this is coming, if we want to try to farm the set items to get ready for it, am I farming strength or am I farming intelligence right now? What's the over-under on that?
I think so when I'm reading this, it reminds me of a monk class more than any other class with the whole mid-range stuff. You have your crusader and you have your barb is close. You have the demon hunter and the wizard, and then a necro is kind of a hybrid. This is reminding me of like probably most similar to a monk, which is the class that I've never played in Diablo Immortal besides the betas and alphas. I would say you're going to go for intelligence on it, but I honestly don't know. Do you agree, or do you think it's a strength class?
So I think thematically wise, it's a knight. It seems strength would be the correct option. However, it's a kind of a caster knight, so intelligence might work from that side of it. The real honest to God truth of it is it's 4-2 right now, with 4 being strength, 2 intelligence classes. So granted, both the intelligence classes are quite good. So the strength classes are good too, though. And if we have a 5th one in there, you know, I'm not hoping it's strength. I'm really hoping it's actually intelligence. Do I think it's going to be intelligence? It's probably going to be a 5th strength one. For some reason. Do we see any of the primary attacks, or no? Is this just only skills? We have no idea what like because that could tell us a lot if we knew just what the primary attack was. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think we actually see. I think that might be what dash stab is. You know, when the target moves away from you, you will dash. When the target's in front of you, you will launch a barrage. Maybe. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think we see the basics, probably.
I mean, it's going to be, it seems that it's going to be a melee style class with a long range for that melee, which is going to have less damage available than the barbarian or crusader. And then it's going to have skills that are going to be a bit more ranged. That's what I'm guessing here.
All right. Well, so you're locking in your answer of strength or intelligence. What you think it is?
I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm sticking with my gut, and I'm going intelligence with hope that it's intelligence.
Okay, I hope it's intelligence would be the correct one from a balance perspective in the game, because we could use that. And then if it's actually really good, then you got Necromancer and Shadow Knight that you can both farm for, and that would fit very well for me. I would be very happy with that. But this class comes out here, they say, I believe July. Yeah, in July, and I think it was data mined to be the 13th is how long we are going to have to wait for it. So start farming your mythic fish now and save them, because you can cash those in later and get legendaries for that class on day 1. Pro tip. All right.
Saw that.
That was a comment. It wasn't for me. I read one of my comments. All right. With that being said, any last words, Echo? You can find Echo in the pinned comment down below.
Nah, thanks for having me on the channel. I've been more and more excited for Diablo Immortal lately. I don't know what it is. I think it's the Accursed Towers, but I've been enjoying it more than I had in the past. So yeah, I am going to be playing more Diablo Immortal and less Diablo 4. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what we're doing.
There you go. And you can find the boy in the pinned comment, and I'll also have a link to the WoW head since we used it for the skills and the photos. And if you want, you can go read the skills for yourself. There's some interesting ones in there. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.